Hello and welcome to Your Financial Planet, a podcast hosted by the Synergy Capital Solutions team. In this episode, Mark Burns and Alex Burns will be discussing the multi-generational team we have here at Synergy Capital Solutions and how this benefits our clients.
So Mark, we're talking today about Synergy being a multi-generational firm, having G1 advisors working alongside G2 advisors. When you founded Synergy Capital Solutions, when did you realize having a second generation of advisors on the team was an important asset to have?
That's a great question. I think the start of when I began in the business goes all the way to right out of college, and I started in this industry because I wanted to start a business. But as far as the true succession plan and the realization that I want to continue this, it's probably when you and Jordan were teenagers. That was about the time, because I recognized how beautiful you were with your hearts and your minds, and that we could continue this on.
You start crying.
I'm going to start crying. But that's that's a big part of it. And I think the other side is, as you matriculate through the planning process, and I've been going through this for 40 years on behalf of clients as well, is you say, oh my gosh, I'm building an enterprise here, I'm building a company here. I need to start thinking ahead rather than looking in the past, and looking at that, looking at the right talent, and it's both, you and Jordan as being children, but in addition to that, other talent that just does a better job than what I do and that we do collectively is better than what I can do on my own. And so that was a big part of it, is bringing in the right talent. Tell us about your journey into Synergy and being second generation advisor, so to speak, and what your impressions have been so far.
Yeah, I think it's we're definitely different in the industry, where I know tons of advisors we talk to, very few seem to have like a G1 and G2 advisor on households, and I think even new clients are kind of surprised by it, and it's pretty different in our industry. As you know, like you told us growing up, Jordan and I growing up, that we always would have the option to work with you if we wanted to, but basically that we would have to cut our teeth in corporate America before then. But growing up in the industry and seeing how you helped people and the stories you told us about people going through different stages of their lives, and really having like a meaning and a difference in people's lives compared to just pushing a product or it being very transactional, spoke to me, and I think spoke to Jordan. And then it's been interesting, obviously when I started working for Legacy Burns Investment Group when I was 14 or 15 years old, I was filing actual sheets of paper statements into a folder in a giant file room with a server, and to just see how that's evolved to now like everything lives in the cloud, and we specifically try to avoid using paper, and now we're sitting here doing a podcast, and just to see how everything's evolved is crazy. And I know when you started, you love to tell people how you used to write your trades on like 3x5 index cards, so it's been fun. I guess being exposed to it kind of throughout my life, and being the nerdy kid who would do my like 5th grade project on like mutual funds instead of any other fun topic out there. But it's been fun to kind of see how the industry has changed over the last, I guess that's been 25 years or whatever, 20 years, but it's been an interesting journey.
So when you look at it and you look back and you say, really for the last 15, 20 years, and you have been exposed to the industry, and I think that's where marrying not just having the brains and the desire, but the heart, and the big part of it is to be there on behalf of clients. And a big part of our mission is to take our first generation advisors, mentor the second generation advisors, and take the best of both worlds and marry them together. And I think it's very important to understand that having the people involved, and as I look back and I think about the markets, I think about planning, I think about family dynamics, we call them critical financial events. I'm sure our kids have caught me at hard times with client scenarios where people are sick, passing away, and disabled, whatever the case may be, and helping families navigate through all that is something that you can't always coach. You can facilitate through a checklist, but the most important thing is showing empathy and helpful and finding ways to soothe the course as time marches on. And that's one of the main things that we're trying to bring to the table as well. And so it's not just the people and talent and the processes we employ, it's making sure that we're really client focused, and that is what gives me the greatest pride looking back at how the whole next generation of our advisors, Alex, Jordan, and others included, are matriculating through their careers. And now it's kind of weird because they're like mini me's, and it's just kind of frightening. So.
Yeah, it's funny. Everyone has kind of a different perspective. Like Eric studied econ, Jordan was in finance, I was communications, and we all have different backgrounds, and we're all trying to bring these processes into play where like we want to have X happens to a client, so you follow this tick list of things to do, but at the end of the day you can't like forget the fact that these are people and the client comes first. And we've dealt with people going from everything from having kids to buying a house, buying a new car. Like I've had every imaginable conversation with a client of getting sick, family passing away, and you can't really put that into a list, but that's what I think, like having multiple generations and multiple sets of eyes on every client household is important for not just us as a firm, but obviously our clients that we work on behalf of.
I think that's a very, very important message, is that not only do we plan on behalf of our clients, but we plan on behalf of ourselves. And so we live our plans, we have a 5 or 10 year focus, strategic long-term plans, personal and financial. And that's where, as I look back and I go, where did that come from? Why was I always looking forward and focused? And I think a big part of it was, number one is learning from clients. Interviewing and working with financial plans over the years gives you great ideas on what people have done right, and also what people could have done better, I guess is a better way of saying what they have done wrong. But long and short is I learned from those experiences and tried to bring that to the forefront. And one of them that I'm quite proud of is the fact that shockingly both children and others wanted to come into the business, and I did say that you need to go work several years somewhere else, and I think that worked out really well, and that was taught to me by others.
Yeah, so why do you think it's important to be investing time and energy into that second generation of advisors for our clients and the firm on a whole?
Well, I think it's mission critical. This is I'm hitting, I think I'm going into my 40th year in the industry, and as I look at where I'm at in my age bracket, I think it's important to look at what comes next. Like I said, part of that long-term planning and a key component is when you're working with families and you're working with first-generation clients, and now we work with second generation, the children, and we're working with the third grandchildren and great grandchildren of our clients.
Yeah, like college planning for kids that were just born this year, but their great grandparents are clients.
That's correct. And so you look and I go, geez, I have wonderful children, I have wonderful in-laws, I have great team members that are going along in this journey. And I think it's critical to be able to bring this time and effort and investment. Return on investment is always something we look at, and we invest in people, we invest in processes, and if we don't do that, then we're kind of fooling ourselves, and it's a disservice to our clients. So I think it's very important that we bring the next generation and coach and mentor and train through that over time. And experience begets experience, and then pay it forward. As another side of it is take what's worked well and try to help others to avoid what hasn't worked well, and then prepare them to coach and train. Potentially we could have our grandkids in the business, my grandkids in the business, your grandkids in the business, and prepare the company for that. That's the long-term vision, and it's all, in my opinion, centered around how we can continue to work on behalf of our clients and their families and their legacy. That's a big part of it. So how do you think it benefits our clients?
Everyone has different experiences. Everyone has it's a new set of eyes, is why we don't just have one advisor working with, one family, and we always have, 2 to 3 people on each household, each meeting. I don't know, life's all about perspective, and everyone has different experiences that give them a different perspective, and it's not always as cut and dry as we can make a change to the plan and say, well, you sell your house and your plan's fine, but you're telling somebody you got to sell your house in order to afford your lifestyle is not something that you can just sit there and tell a client that you've known for 15 years. And having you with the depth of experience to kind of shake me sometimes to say, we have to be realistic here about these are people's lives that we're giving advice on, and not so much just numbers side.
That's interesting, because as we're taping this here today, we're sitting in a house that you and your new wife just moved into in Orlando, and then it gives me a chance to think about where Jordan, Eric, Sarah, John McCarron, and others who work for us currently are, where they are in their lives and their continuous chapters of moving forward. And it's great to see those life experiences being employed with, buying a home, having children, preparing for children, having more grandchildren, hopefully. And I think a big part of it is to see and then be able to employ that on behalf of our clients, and living those life experiences. You're effectively writing your own books and chapters of life. That the good part is that you have a reference to go to, and you have a template, I think, that you can employ, and that template is something that is highly applicable to the next generation of our clients. And I'm very proud to see that come about. And so as a father, as a businessman, as a most importantly as a client-focused financial advisor, that gives me the greatest pride ever, is to see how we are formulating our go-forward plan, so that just in case I'm not there, for one reason or another, the firm continues on. And I think that's critical. And so the investment process we employ, the planning process we employ, the methodologies of communication and all that are designed to become most effective over time, and be able to have that mini checklist that we employ in the background. So we're we look like we're pretty calm, but you look under the water and it's just a lot of this going on, and it's a big part of it. So just we have 25 steps just to prepare for the client meeting, right? And all the different things that we go through for meeting, and then all the items we go through for meeting, and then all the items we go through after the meeting. And so it's pretty intensive to see what these checklists employ to keep us all on the all on the same page. And it's a big part of it. And so
yeah, it's pretty funny working alongside with some clients, and that you would consider like the G1, and then now their kids are clients and they're going through a lot of the same things that like me, Eric, Jordan, Sarah, and John McCarran have gone through recently. Funny how mirroring all these experiences with the second generation of clients that we work with, which is just really, I don't know, I think it's kind of neat, and I know you nerd out over it, but I'm the same way, and I tell.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's it shows that what we put in place really works, and I think all of our clients appreciate that, and that you're going through the same structure and so forth, and we kind of I kind of call it all the time, find your happy place, and I've said to my children and others is that we always want to create happy, healthy, and productive people and relationships, and I think a big part of it gets into entitlement. It gets into deserving one thing or another, and so that's where sorry, but you had to do the filing, okay, and empty the garbage, do whatever it took to get the job done, and I have pictures of Jordan passed out on my couch because she
Studying for the Series 7.
Yeah, she was studying for one of the securities exams, and after school, after a long day of school and sports, and come to my office, and that was a big part of it, and just to test and retest your resolve and desire, and then matriculating into I don't want to work here. When you're working at other firms, I want to work for you. It's just like, well, too bad, suck it up and move on. Because this is part of it is you need to recognize a little bit of the outside world to be able to come in. Right. Our job is to give our impressions on how the plan is or isn't working, and most importantly, how we can work together to make sure that the plan does work. And it's very critical to try to bring all this together in a fashion that we can execute on efficiently, and to streamline and simplify the discipline that's required to make the plans work over time. That's the biggest challenge going forward. Well, this has been fun. I appreciate the time and the feedback, and enjoying the conversation in Orlando. It's great. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Your Financial Planet. Please hit the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. If you'd like to reach out to our team, please contact us at 888-363-4546, or you can email us at hello@synergycapitalsolutions.com.